Ever wondered if everything you know about Shih Tzus is completely wrong? Some people believe that when a Shih Tzu leans against you, it's always a sign of affection, but is that really true? Others think that taking away a Shih Tzu's food mid-meal helps prevent food aggression. Sounds logical, right? Well, it's actually the opposite. And what about that guilty look your Shih Tzu gives after making a mess? Yeah, that's not what you think either. In this video, we're debunking some of the biggest Shih Tzu myths you've probably believed. Let's start with one of the oldest myths. Shih Tzus can only see in black and white. You've probably heard this before, but guess what? It's completely false. Shih Tzus can see color, just not the same way humans do. Research from the University of California shows that they have dichromatic vision, meaning they primarily see shades of blue and yellow. Unlike humans, they can't distinguish between red and green, but their world isn't just black and white. Think of it like a slightly faded Instagram filter, rather than an old-school black and white movie. So, those red toys you bought? They probably look brownish to your Shih Tzu. But a blue ball? Super bright and vibrant. So next time you pick out a toy, go for blue or yellow, it'll stand out more to your pup. Another common belief is that when a Shih Tzu leans on you, it always means they love you. Sounds sweet, right? Your Shih Tzu leans against you, so it must be a sign of affection. Well, not necessarily. Sometimes, Shih Tzus lean because they're seeking comfort, feeling anxious, or even trying to claim you as their own. Think of it as their way of saying, "This human is mine." If your Shih Tzu frequently leans on you, especially in new or crowded places, they might just be looking for security. But if they seem confident and relaxed, then yes, it could be pure love. So, while it's nice to think your Shih Tzu adores you, don't assume every lean is a loving gesture. It might just be their way of coping with the world. Now, let's tackle a classic myth. All Shih Tzus are natural-born swimmers. Nope. Just because some Shih Tzus enjoy water doesn't mean they all do. Unlike breeds built for swimming, Shih Tzus have short legs and a compact body, making swimming more challenging. Some may learn to swim, but others might struggle. If you want your Shih Tzu to swim, start slow, use a life jacket, and never assume they'll just figure it out. Otherwise, you might end up with a very wet and very unhappy pup. Another myth that needs debunking. Shaving your Shih Tzu keeps them cool in hot weather. Seems logical, right? Less fur, less heat. But actually, that's wrong. According to the American Kennel Club, AKC, a Shih Tzu's coat helps regulate their temperature. Their double coat provides natural insulation, keeping them cool in summer and warm in winter. Shaving them removes this protection, making them more vulnerable to heat and even sunburn. Instead of shaving, brush them regularly to remove loose fur. And if it's really hot, provide shade, plenty of water, and maybe even a kiddie pool for them to cool off. Your Shih Tzu will thank you, without the awkward buzz cut. Now, let's talk about a myth that could actually do more harm than good. Taking away a Shih Tzu's food teaches them not to be aggressive. This might sound like a smart training tactic, but it's actually the opposite. Imagine someone constantly snatching your plate away while you're eating. You'd get defensive, right? Shih Tzus feel the same way. Taking their food away can make them more anxious and even more likely to guard it. If you want to prevent food aggression, teach them that people near their food isn't a bad thing. Toss treats into their bowl while they eat, so they associate humans with good things. Letting them eat in peace is the best way to prevent food aggression in the first place. Another common misconception is that all Shih Tzus love belly rubs and hugs. While some enjoy cuddles, others don't. Every Shih Tzu has its own personality, and some simply don't like being touched too much. Hugs, for example, can make many Shih Tzus uncomfortable because they feel trapped. You might think it's sweet, but your Shih Tzu might just be tolerating it. Instead of assuming, watch their body language. If their ears go back or they stiffen up, they're not enjoying it. Respect their space, and they'll trust you more. But if your Shih Tzu does love cuddles, lucky you soak up those snuggles. Another big worry for Shih Tzu owners is that neutering will ruin their dog's personality. Not true. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, neutering doesn't change a Shih Tzu's core personality. However, it can reduce certain behaviors like excessive marking, roaming, and in some cases, aggression. your Shih Tzu won't suddenly become lazy or lose their spark. They'll still be the same playful, goofy, and loving pup, just without the urge to run off and find a mate. Plus, neutering has health benefits, such as lowering the risk of certain cancers. So if you're unsure about it, rest easy knowing your Shih Tzu's personality will stay the same. And finally, let's bust one of the most misunderstood myths, the guilty Shih Tzu look. You come home to a mess, and your Shih Tzu gives you that classic, guilty face. You assume they know they did something wrong, right? Well, not exactly. Studies from Barnard College show that what we interpret as guilt is actually just a Shih Tzu responding to your tone and body language. They're not feeling bad about what they did, they're reacting to your frustration. Shih Tzus live in the moment. So if you scold them for something they did hours ago, they won't connect the punishment to their actions. Instead of guilt, they're just trying to avoid getting in trouble. So the next time your Shih Tzu gives you that look, remember they're not feeling guilty. They're just saying, please don't be mad at me. Now that you know the truth about these Shih Tzu myths, you can understand your pup even better.